Welcome to the First Lutheran Church Pastoral Vlog. I'm Pastor Jason, and happy to be with you today, looking at our gospel text coming up for this weekend. And we're back in the vineyard. Jesus continues to tell parables here in Matthew 21. And here at First Lutheran, we're right up against the back wall where we have lots of wood carvings of grapes and vines, of course, all centered around the altar where we have communion, but also a reminder of the vineyard where the grapes for wine are harvested. And Jesus says there was a landowner who had this beautiful vineyard, put a fence around it, put a watchtower in it, and rented it out to tenants. But the tenants didn't want to pay him, and so he sent slaves to collect the produce, and they killed and injured the slaves. He sent more slaves, and the tenants injured them. Finally, he sent his own son, thinking they will respect my son, who has much authority, and they killed him too. And Jesus asks the chief priests, who he's telling this parable to, well, what do you think the landowner will do to these tenants? And the chief priests say, well, they will, certainly these scoundrels will be killed. This is what they deserve. They'll put those wretches to a miserable death and then lease to other tenants. Jesus then goes on to talk about the cornerstone, the capstone, that of course he is, that the builders rejected. And finally, by the end of our gospel, the chief priests realized that he was talking about them as the tenants. And they get ready to kill him. This brings us in Matthew really to getting close to Holy Week, to the death of Jesus and to his going to the cross. All of this, of course, comes to a center for us here as we're gathered, not just by some carvings of grapes, but near the altar where we have communion. The altar where in the temple the animal was sacrificed, and we recognize that Christ is the last sacrifice. And so all of this is at play in our scripture for this week. The vineyard, Israel, the church, you, Christ coming as God's Son, killed, yet as we know, and as I will remind you, raised to new life. And now Christ comes for your sake too, to raise you to new life. This is good news for us, and I want you to hear this not only today in this video, but in worship as well. So come to worship Saturday, Sunday. We'll hear this word together. We'll receive the fruit of the vine, but not just that, the fruit of Christ. We'll receive Christ's own blood and body in the sacrament of Holy Communion. We'll see you there.